The murder of Rachel Nickell on Wimbledon Common led to one of the most notorious miscarriages of justice in British criminal history. An innocent man was imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. The real killer, Robert Napper, roamed free to murder another young mother, and this time her child also. In this documentary, we finally reveal the true story of how the police investigation into these crimes turned into a catastrophe. One that let a murderer free to kill and kill again. We hear from Colin Stagg, the innocent man whose life was changed forever. Speaking out for the first time are Gary Copson, a retired high-ranking officer from the Metropolitan Police, and Professor Paul Britton, the psychologist brought in to assist detectives in their hunt for the killer, the man who many sought to blame for the investigation's failings. After nearly 3 decades of silence, Paul Britton and Colin Stagg, men branded by the press as enemies, finally sit face to face. Unveiled is a first-hand account of deceit and betrayal that played out alongside one of the most brutal series of murders ever seen in the UK. This is the story of the murder which changed Britain.
Paul Britton interview, take 1.
So Paul, can I start by asking you why you've decided to do this interview after remaining pretty much silent about this matter for almost 30 years?
I have always taken the view, until now really, that I was a member of a team. And at the beginning, I had been asked by the Met and others not to say anything. That caused some difficulty for me because I was under some pressure to go onto television, go into the radio and all sorts of other things. But I did as I was asked, I said nothing at all. And gradually, over the years, 2 things happened. The first is that material began to come out that was completely inaccurate. And the other thing is that there was silence from the people who'd asked me to be quiet, and so it just left me apparently the focus of attention. Eventually, we moved from quasi-factual programs into straightforward fiction and drama, and my concern was that what was really a mess was in fact going to become history, and it seemed to me it was time to put it straight.
Police had been alerted to the fact that some months prior to the murder, Colin Stagg had exchanged letters with a woman he had contacted through a Lonely Hearts column in a local newspaper. Those letters had a sexually graphic dimension to them. The police seized upon this.
On a number of occasions, the view was, well, this is it, isn't it? This is showing something. And my view is, well, not necessarily. There are all sorts of things that happen in relationships. And what you're seeing reflected in the letter at the moment is something that any one of 100 people could have written or received.
It has always been assumed that as the psychologist, Paul Britton would have had a hand in the actual writing of these letters. But was this the case?
Did you play any part in the writing of those letters?
No. No, the simple answer is no.
I asked Paul not to move to the next stage of that undercover operation as he was being asked to. I asked him, I begged him, I warned him that if it went wrong, he would be left alone to face the music. But he did proceed to the next stage, and when that didn't produce the evidence of darkness, he proceeded to the next stage after that.
The other person whose life has been irrevocably changed by the case is Colin Stagg, as he has endured 13 months of wrongful incarceration, public scrutiny along with the intrusion of the press.
Colin Stag.
Looking back, I mean, if you met him now, what do you think you would say to Paul Britton?
I'd like to ask him, like, you know, were you being guided by the police, or were you guiding the police yourself? You know, but
and that's the thing, isn't it? You know, so much has been written about these things, so much has been said. But that's why, in a way, isn't it? You want to hear it yourself, don't you, from the man himself after all these years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Did you ever tell the police that I was the murderer of Rachel Nickell?
No, I did not.